So I had a silly idea to have AI help me write a prog song or give me some guidelines. So I'm going to ask Chat GPT for a chord progression and some time signatures and a few other things, and I'm going to use those as guidelines to write a piece of music. This should be a pretty fun composition challenge. These sorts of things are really interesting and can actually lead to some good results. So let's see how this goes. It took me 8.5 hours to write 2 minutes of music for this challenge, which is absolutely ridiculous, and I recorded all of it. Now, for the sake of time, I've edited this down to well under an hour to make it a little more fun to watch. If you want the unedited 8.5 hour footage, please let me know. Maybe I can post that somewhere. But for now, enjoy my edited footage writing an AI-inspired prog piece. First, I'm going to ask, give me a complex 16-bar jazz chord progression. Is that 16 bars? That is 100% not 16 bars. 16, that's a 24-bar progression. AI, you are smoking crack. Let's try this again. Write me a 16-bar jazz chord progression. 16 bars, not 24 bars. Apparently, AI doesn't know how to count. Let's reload and try this again. That is an actual 16-bar progression. Okay, so we got a bunch of 2 5s in there. It doesn't resolve back to the tonic at the beginning, of course. So that's going to be our chord progression. I'm just going to copy this. Next, we're going to give me 16 time signatures. See how this goes. So that's a list of time signatures. Let's see. Give me a random order of 16 time signatures. Sure. That's a list of 16 time signatures. Let's copy that down. How about this? Give me a tempo, 120 beats per minute. Fine. That's actually good. I don't want it too fast. Now I'm going to figure out how long I want this to be. So give me a number between 2 and 5. 3. All right, so this is going to repeat 3 times. This 16-bar progression is going to repeat 3 times, and that's going to make the whole little piece of music. This won't end up being super long. This rate is probably going to end up being a couple minutes long, which is fine. Next, I want to get the number of strings. Give me a number. This is a number of strings for like rhythm guitar. 6. Okay, so 6 string. Now, I can choose whatever tuning I want. I don't think it's going to be able to give me a tuning. Probably either be standard tuning or drop D. There's a couple more things I wanted to do. The first chord is an F major 7. Write me a simple melody over a F major 7 chord. That's not a melody. That's just a scale. Let's try again. All right, so we have a little sequence here. So I'll take this first little sequence. Let me write it down in...
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you, Siri. Siri's always coming in out of nowhere. So I'm going to take this little sequence. I'm going to write it down in Guitar Pro, just so I have it. It's basically a pentatonic scale straight up and down. Now, what I want to do with this is just use it as like a foundation. So I'm just going to put it in here. I'm going to use this little pattern as a motif. I guess it's just a straight pentatonic scale. All right, so we've got our chords, we've got our time signatures, we've got our tempo, the amount of times it's going to repeat, we got our 6-string guitar. Last thing I want to do is to kind of figure out a style of music. So I think what I'll do is ask it for a style of music, just any style of music, and then I'll ask it for a style of metal, and then I'll combine those 2 styles together, depending on what it is. So here we go. We got a reggae. That should be fun. So what are we going to mix with reggae? Death metal. So we're going to do death metal reggae. With a jazz chord progression and a bunch of weird time signatures. This is going to be fun. All right, so here's all my parameters up on the screen. I've got the chord progression, all the time signatures, 120 beats per minute, 3 times repeating on a 6-string guitar, and death metal reggae. One last thing I want to ask, and it depends on what the answer is, whether I can use it or not. Give me an obscure instrument. If it's something I can do with a virtual instrument, I'll make it part of the song, like a main part of the song. Hydraulophone. Unlikely I'm going to be able to produce that. Theremin. Theremin could be cool. I'm going to put it down. I'll do some research and see if I have a theremin sound. I might in some of my virtual instruments, or I might be able to pick up like a free one that sounds decent. So we have all of our things here. So let's pull up Guitar Pro, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to have these guidelines on my second screen here, and I'll just start to put together these ideas here. I'm just going to kind of chart it out all ahead of time. What I've done here in Guitar Pro is just set up kind of, the basic instruments I'll use. Rhythm guitar left and right, 2 lead guitars, couple clean guitars, bass, drums, and some synths and piano. Now I may add and subtract from these as I go along, but it's a good starting point anyway. So let's put in all these time signatures first. We'll leave this first bar blank. I'm going to put in the time signatures and I'll put in the chord progression and then we'll go from there. I already have it at 120 beats per minute because that's what it defaults to in Guitar Pro. So time signature time. All right, let me double check these time signatures.
98782264 128 445442 3411 6858 74 916 24.
All track copy, and we're only repeating this 3 times. All right, so we're gonna have a piece of music here that's gonna be about 1 minute and 50 seconds long, so pretty short. So let's put these chords in here. Let me grab my guitar real quick. All right, so let's get this chord progression down. I'm just gonna kind of put in basic jazz style chord progressions here. Maybe we should do this on the clean guitar. And we're doing reggae, so I'll have to think about the groove a little bit too. All right, so I might actually do like kind of a traditional kind of reggae strum thing right off the bat. So I'm gonna do like a traditional reggae thing. I'm gonna have to do it more straight than reggae can sometimes be kind of swung. So it's 9/8. I'm just gonna treat it like 4/4 and add an extra eighth note. And then what I'll do in the second bar is I'll treat that like 4/4 and subtract an eighth note. What was the chord? B flat minor 7. Now I might do some sort of like extensions on some of these things too. If it says major 7, I might do a major 9 chord or. That sounds terrible. Oh, that's a good idea. Watch this. I'm going to cut these little sort of stabby things short and get like a sync. Actually, no. I'll do that on the next bar, which is a D minor 7. So let's see if I can get this little melodic line in here, which is really lame. Man, how am I going to make this death metal? It's like... I gotta lean into the dissonance of an F major 7 chord. There's a lot of major chords in here, which are gonna be like major 7 chords, which are gonna be hard to make death metal. Now, I might kind of like weave between the two styles some. One other thing I need to think about is kind of like the order of the song in general, because it's only going to repeat 3 times. Well, this first time through the progression, I'll treat it like a melody. Like I'll have a melody and a whole composed sort of thing. The second time through, I'll probably do a solo in the first half and then some riffing in the second half. The third time through, I'll bring back the melody and maybe combine it with the riffing. At the very end, like the second half of the third time, I'll make it like, uber heavy, riffy death metal, proggy death metal. It's going to be kind of weird with this chord progression, but that's part of the challenge, I suppose. Let's see if I can figure out like a good rhythm for this melody. It's just such an uninspired melody. Thank you, AI. As you can see, AI is not there yet. Can't write a melody that doesn't suck. Let's see if I can get some sort of death metal in here. I think I'm going to drop D just so I can get a little bit more heaviness out of it. Also so I can do some drop D style power chords, which I think will be considerably heavier. All right, so I've drop D'd my guitar. I think we got to start with some like tremolo picking. I wonder how strictly I should stay to these chords. Maybe I'll make it like a Lydian. Kind of want to be able to lean into some dissonances. So what I'm going to do, I think, is do some chord stabs. Now, whether or not the like reggae guitar is going to work against this, we'll see. Now let's get the melody in here too. That's gonna be a real kicker here. Oh my god, that's terrible. I want it to sound more disgusting. My goal is as much as possible to make this sound like an actual piece of music. I wonder if I should start more with the metal and then kind of like bring in the reggae more, because I think it's going to be easier probably to do the reggae. But as you can see here, what I'm doing is basically just kind of just trying to get some ideas down, you know, whether or not they work. That's to be seen, I suppose. I think I might stick with that as a major 7 type voicing. It's like really major 7 sharp 11, but as I'm doing this, I'm really kind of going for whatever is inspiring me, which is kind of tricky with this particular challenge. So I think I'm kind of just more going for the riff portion now, at least to start. If I can work out some kind of, you know, rhythm foundation that's death metal-ish with this chord progression, then I think I can add the other things on pretty easily. I wonder if I could tremolo pick all of those. And I can actually harmonize some of these like in kind of disgusting ways with the second rhythm guitar. Part of the reason that I've composed into Guitar Pro a lot is that I can kind of hear these type of sounds right off the bat. I really need the drums next. I think we have this blast beat like right off the bat. It's amazing how much the drums makes that sound like death metal. Now let's actually bring in the clean reggae guitar and see how that sounds. Actually, it sounds pretty cool. I think it's actually going to work now that I kind of get the drums in here. I should make those more disgusting too. My thought is when I hit the guitar solo in the second repeat, I'm going to go like full reggae on that part. But I kind of want to have that element in the beginning too. I wonder if that's too high up because it's going to kind of get in the way of a melody. Maybe I'll adjust that, like transpose it to a different spot. I suppose that's probably allowed. This is my challenge. I can do whatever I want, I guess. Instead of playing that exact melody, because it's just not going to work, I don't think, in this style. I think I'm going to stick with that for now. I'm going to kind of work on the melody as I get these chord progressions going. So let's do a little more drums. I should probably keep the blasts going for like a couple measures. And then I'll kind of, maybe 4 measures, and then I'll settle into like some kind of a groove. You're going to see how much time I spend on drums. Let me get bass in here. I'm probably not going to play this. Probably use Umansky bass, since this is kind of a silly little video anyway. So I don't have to worry too much about playability. So let's come up with a melody. It's hard to come up with melodies in odd time signatures, especially over weird chords and in a weird style. I wonder if I can bring that motif back. Oh, what if it hung over the bar? What if I kept the same interval relationships, the same order of notes within the scale, but just a different part of the scale? Ah, here we go. want to highlight that accented 16th note at the end of that beat. So maybe I'll like actually hit. What if I can anticipate that in the rhythm guitars too? I need to get some synth in here too. Maybe I'll double up this lead guitar with the lead synth. I might actually harmonize that lead in a few spots, but I'll deal with that later. Let's copy these stabs over to a piano. So we have that anticipated last 16th note. What if I changed up that little reggae stabs to also catch that 16th note? Oh, and then they hold over. I realized I haven't even thought about the theremin. What I might do is think about leaving this theremin for some of those like spacier moments. Let's see if I can get this next part down. So we have, what was after D minor 7? G7. So it's a 2-5. So D minor 7 to G7, then C minor 7 to F7. So it's like. I'm going to do some alterations and also some maybe tritone substitutions. Got to think about the shifting meters too. So I'm going to keep the chord stab kind of thing going. The harmony underneath this. I'm going to go more to like 16th note kind of bass things. Oh, I'm in drop D. I should be doing this an octave down. I try to get the fingerings like somewhat like I'm actually going to play them. Going to get this one measure down, then I have to be done for today, and I'll get back to it tomorrow. Sweet. That sounds cool. I can kind of see where I'm going to go with this, but I will get back to it tomorrow. All right, I'm back for day number 2. Got a different shirt on. So let's continue this piece. I'm going to see if I can get through the whole sort of main first section. So let's continue on. I might actually slide that. I'm going to get the melody in here pretty soon too. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to get through these first 8 bars, which is like the first half of the form. And then I think I'm going to do something much more groove-based. I'd have to do that in the bass. It's basically a 3-6-2-5 in B flat, which is what it's going to after this. Just trying to go for a little bit more of a straighter groove here. Basically what I'm going to do is like copy this over and I'll just shorten it so it fits into 5/4. Trying to get the fingerings at least somewhat where I want them. I'm not going to worry about trying to play this until I kind of get to the point where I'm going to record it. Man, 4/2, which is basically 2 bars of 4/4. So before I was doing 4 16th notes, then an 8th note. And then here I was doing 4 16th notes and another 4 16th notes. So I kind of like maybe go back and forth between those. So good. And then I'll do like those low hits and that'll take me to the second half of the grooviness. All right, now we'll get the bass and drums going here. Notice I haven't even done really anything with keyboards yet. With the death metal thing, I think I'll just focus on guitars first. Making it very hard to write something cohesive with how much shifting time signatures and the like particular type of chords. have this 16th note, like ascending thing. That's a little motif. That's kind of from the original AI melody. And then I have these little 2 ascending notes, which I really like the sound of. Try to keep those 2 things in this next part of this melody. If I do this right, the melody will help to tie together all this weirdness. Don't hate that. I'm just gonna leave that where it is for now. Double that in the synth. I don't love all of this, but there's some good ideas in here, so I'm gonna keep it. Then I will kind of come back to it as I work through the rest of the song. But I want to iron out this second half here first. Now I want more of a groove-based kind of thing. Look at the time signatures. All right, let's get some drums in here for this. The main thing here that I want is straight quarter notes through all of this. Actually, that's gonna work. Might have the snare drum follow the time signatures more. A7 flat 9 and then a 2-5 in C. I have this which I like. I can probably keep that in this 7/4 bar. We're just gonna do exactly what I did before. Let's get the bass finished. Then I'll work out the melody. Aha, I've got a cool idea for this measure. I'm trying to keep this death metal dissonance thing here, but I think it's maybe too much. So maybe instead of that. No. Figuring out a melody for this part is just so hard because I want it to be a little more kind of epic and triumphant. I can see this being like a climactic part at the end of the song, but let's catch the rhythm part. All right, let's listen to this whole section here. Then I'm going to go back and try to fill in some of the parts. I think I lost a little bit of the death metals part in that second half. I think that second half is somewhat triumphant, which is kind of what I was going for. All right, I got to get these rhythm and lead parts gelling together a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's see how these all blend together. There's the melody. I need to get some chords going, like in the like pad synth chords. What I'm gonna do actually is take the melody, copy it over so that I have some kind of basis for the chords. Very cool. I can definitely build on that. At the end, this last part can come back super epic, like really straightforward for the very last time through. I think I've got this first 16 bars in a decent spot. Now we'll move on to the second 16 bars. So now we're into the second time through this. I'm going to do a solo in the first half with more of a traditional reggae sound as much as possible with these weird time signatures. And then in the back half of this second part, I'm going to have some more riffy stuff. So I may have to like intersperse the reggae with some like death metal, reggae, something like that. So we'll see how it goes. First thing I got to do is like take a traditional reggae groove. I just did some research. It's been a while since I've written reggae grooves, so I want to get a reggae groove in the drums. That's weird. That's weird because it's triplet based, and then all of a sudden there's an eighth note. So there's a basic groove for those first 4 bars. Let's get the reggae guitar going here. We need some bass. I'm going to actually have 2 separate bass tones in the actual recording too, so I might as well do that in the writing process. You'll notice I'm writing this away from the guitar because I don't really need the guitar for this. I can kind of hear it back on Guitar Pro, and I'm dealing more with the rhythm part of it anyway. You know, a lot of times I will write away from the guitar. Oh, and we have 2 extra beats here at the end. So what I'm going to do is then insert the death metal for 2 beats there. So what I really need the lead guitar to do is like lead into the solo in a way that makes it kind of connect these 2 things together. So I'm gonna do like a 16th note run. I need another note there. I don't want it to start on the beat. That's too cliche. See how much of the difference that makes to throw that lead guitar in there? All of a sudden, it kind of connects these 2 very different parts together. Transitions are so important, and I spend a lot of time on them. Cool. So let's maybe get the second half of this reggae thing down, and then I'm going to have to take a break. Oh, that's bright. That's nasty. Oh, jeez. That's hard. So dumb. But you can blame the AI for this monstrosity of music I'm creating here. Oh, that is nuts. We're going to go into some riffing. So I'm going to kind of just do some crazy riffing for the next 8 bars and then bring back the melody the last time through. Yeah, some sort of like, I gotta get some like crazy riffing here. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's listen to this. So let's get the other rhythm guitar in here. Okay, so for the bass, I'm going to have to like really simplify some of this stuff. I need drums. Okay, so we've got 2 full repetitions of this cycle, and I only need 3. That's what the AI told me to write, was just 3 times through this progression. And the last time's going to be a lot simpler, I think, more epic. And what I'm going to do is really combine the metal and the reggae more heavily here in this first half. Yeah, that's cool. What I want to do is put the melody over this too. And here I am going to raise it up an octave. That's bizarre, but it actually works because we're kind of back to 16th notes now instead of triplets. I'll do like 16th note octaves. Think about what works with the melody here. Let's go to like a double time backbeat. I haven't done that yet, actually. I need to get the bass for those last couple of bars, and then I will finish this bad boy up. At least finish this sketch out. First, I want to grab the sort of epic melody here. What I think I want to do actually is have it pause for a minute, like a cliche kind of like epic pause sort of thing. Ba do 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 ga, crack 'em ba boom boom ba, Sudabaka. Yeah, that's gonna be sick. Yeah, so I think actually what I want to do is like this massive retardando, that 9/16 measure in the 2/4 bar, and then end it. And then I'm going to have like a reggae groove fade out at the very end. Let's bring up the tempo track there. And I want it to go. Just going to bring that reggae groove in. What's going to happen is it's going to kind of slowly creep in after that long held chord. And this is just going to jam out on one chord. I'm going to do some noodling on top of it. Going to kind of make this slightly longer. Just get a little cool down from the craziness before this. I got to finish off the drums and bass in this epic part. And then I'll have the whole thing sketched out and I can start to work out some of the finer details. All right, good. I think I'm done for today. I sketched out the entire thing, and it's actually pretty detailed overall already. I need to figure out some of the background figures. That's a big part of it. I need some more keyboards in here. I just remembered that the theremin was maybe a part of this, so I got to see if I can find a spot for the theremin. If I can use the theremin, maybe I'll have like the theremin do some like spacey, weird dissonant stuff at the beginning before that drum fill kicks in, and have it like catch parts of the melody and stuff. I'm not sure about the theremin at this point. I'll have to figure that out later. I'm looking at this riff now. I just wrote this. I was just going for it. This is going to be a real pain to play. I'm going to have to punch in like every bar probably for the recording process. Considering the weird limitations and what the AI gave me, I think I made something that hopefully makes some kind of sense. So I'll finish this up tomorrow. I'm back. It's another day. I'm wearing another black shirt. So I want to finish up the composition. I'm not going to worry about the theremin, I don't think, up front. I just want to fill out all the extra parts of the song, background figures, harmonies, keyboard stuff, that kind of thing. So what I want to do is catch the really fast triplet runs in the synth. I think that crazy riff part is done. All right, so let's go back to the top and work out some extra stuff here. I'm still not sold on this, like the entrance of the first half. I think I might need the low F note in there. Yeah, I think that's the right choice. Actually, maybe I'll leave a space at the end. Oh, here I'm going to do just one stab. That would be cool. And there too. I've got the heavy part down. I need to finalize this reggae section. There's often like a secondary clean guitar, or it might even be the same one as the stabs, but I'm gonna do it on a separate track, doing like dit 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 dit. All right, let's finish up the sketch of this bad boy. First thing I need to do is I need to double the stabs over to piano, double the low notes on this piano in the space with synth. That might end up being strings. In the final thing, I can hear like a string, you know, orchestra kind of going. One thing I want to do is add big pad chords. All right, I need to work out a harmony for this melody the last time. Might just be in bits and pieces. All right, let's finish this up. I gotta get that harmony in here, and I also need to adjust that main melody to make it line up with what I have the first time. Okay, let's listen to this whole part with the harmony. Yeah, I like that. Getting into this epic part here, I'm going to do an octave down. And then a harmony. Yeah, that sounds great. So the main thing I want with these background figures is I want all the parts there, and I can shift them around to different instruments once I figure out my actual kind of keyboard sounds and background sounds. So like, for example, this melody part, the harmony, I have it playing in the acoustic piano, but I might end up doing that on a different sound and have the piano double the pad chords. But I have both of those elements there, so I can mess around with the different timbres once I get to the final thing. But I actually think that I am done. And as you can see, I'm about 90% of the way there. Everything else I'm going to do is like tiny arrangement things. Might change some drum fills when I get into the DAW, and then I'll change sounds. That's a big part of it, the keyboard sounds, and add in some other kind of orchestral elements, I think, here and there. But what I want to do is listen through this a couple of times, thinking of it as a whole. I sketched it out, and I was kind of detailed when I sketched it out, maybe more so than I would be in some other cases. And then I went back and got really detailed in every single different section. I'm just going to go back and see if there's any kind of little details that I want to do in Guitar Pro. If not, I'm going to call it good, export the MIDI, and start that process. harmony. All right, so that's part one of writing a prog song with AI suggestions. This ended up sounding pretty cool, although it was really crazy and weird. But I think for the second part of the video, I'm going to load this into my DAW and get the sounds and also record the guitar parts. And then I'll make a third video where I mix it and finalize the song. And this is good enough. I'll probably make a video and then throw it up on streaming services. But if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel so you can catch the other videos. And if you like this and if you like what I do, please consider hitting me up for some private lessons. I'd love to help people write this kind of crazy music. And I'll see you guys all next time. Till then, stay proggy.